Invocation of Thoth. Procul, O procul esti profani, on lasti, on peda. In the name of the mighty and terrible one, I proclaim that I have banished the shells unto their habitations. I invoke Tahuti, the Lord of wisdom and of utterance, the God that cometh forth from the veil. O thou, majesty of the Godhead, wisdom crowned Tahuti, Lord of the gates of the universe, thee I invoke. O thou of the ibis head, thee I invoke. Thou who wieldest the wand of double power, thee I invoke. Thou who bearest in thy left hand the rose and cross of life and light, thee I invoke. Thou whose head is as an emerald, and thy nemes as the night sky blue, thee I invoke. Thou whose skin is a flaming orange as though it burned in a furnace, thee I invoke. Behold, I am yesterday, today, and the brother of tomorrow. I am born again and again. Mine is the unseen force whereof the gods are sprung, which is as life unto the dwellers in the watchtowers of the universe. I am the charioteer of the east, lord of the past and of the future. I see by mine own inward light, Lord of resurrection, who cometh forth from the dust, and my birth is from the house of death. O ye two divine hawks upon your pinnacles, who keep watch over the universe, ye who company the bier to the house of rest, who pilot the ship of wrong, ever advancing onwards the heights of heaven, Lord of the shrine which standeth in the center of the earth. Behold, he is in me, and I in him. Mine is the radiance, wherein Ptah floateth over the foam. I travel upon high. I tread upon the firmament of you. I wave a flashing flame with the lightning of mine eye, ever rushing on in the splendor of the daily glorified Ra, giving my life to the dwellers of earth. If I say, come up upon the mountain, the celestial waters shall flow at my word. For I am Ra incarnate, Hethra, created in the flesh. I am the eidolon of my father Tanu, lord of the city of the sun. The God who commands is in my mouth. The God of wisdom is in my heart. My tongue is the sanctuary of truth, and a guard sitteth upon my lips. My word is accomplished every day, and the desire of my heart realizes itself as that of the Ptah when he created his works. I am eternal, therefore all things are as my designs, therefore do all things obey my words. Therefore do thou come forth unto me from thine abode in silence, unutterable wisdom, or light, or power. Thoth, Hermes, Mercury, Odin, by whatever name I call thee, thou art still nameless to eternity. Come thou forth, I say, and aid and guard me in this work of ours. Thou, star of the east, that didst conduct the Magi, thou art the same all present in heaven and in hell. Thou that vibratest between the light and the darkness, rising, descending, changing ever, yet ever the same. The sun is thy father, thy mother the moon. The wind hath formed thee in its bosom, and earth hath ever nourished the changeless guardian of thy youth. Come thou forth, I say, come thou forth, and make all spirits subject unto thee, so that every spirit of the firmament of the ether, upon the earth and under the earth, on dry land and in the water, of roaring air and of rushing fire, and every spell and scourge of God the last one may be obedient unto me.
Want to turn hair loss into hair? The truth is, behind closed doors, the P word became my secret sin at age 10. And for the next 17 years of my life,
The Bournemouth ritual. Thee I invoke the Bournemouth one, thee that didst create the earth and the heavens, thee that didst create the night and the day, thee that didst create the darkness and the light. Thou art Asa or Nepha, whom no man hath seen at any time. Thou art Iarbes. Thou art Ea, a Pophras wrong. Thou hast distinguished between the just and the unjust. Thou didst make the female and the male. Thou didst produce the seeds and the fruit. Thou didst form men to love one another and to hate one another. I am Anchoff the Consu, thy prophet.
Male ratio is
Under-
very low in Silicon Valley. Something that I didn't
That's
know.
actually okay. Now that I've got better at pool, like 2 times ago, this girl Kylie from San Diego just walked up to me and was like, "Hey, what's your name? Let's talk." So then I talked to her, got her number. So yeah, it's okay. If you're good at pool, it's fun.
Was it your excellent pool playing skills that attracted her?
Well, they're like I was telling the guys earlier, like they're mostly gay men. They're mostly gay men playing pool. They're mostly gay men playing pool, so I'm the one of the few straight guys. So girls will just walk up to you, you know.
How do you view? Because like I like golf, and I think there's like similar psychological states of mind, brainwave patterns that probably happen when you're stroking that rod, like getting like actually making those shots. Like, how do you view your focus, like in the moment as you stroke it?
Sometimes I think of the stick as a penis, yeah.
Look, do you use English? Can you play English shots or no?
What are English shots?
Spin, backspin, side spin.
I don't do any of that. I just do. I will do backspin to prevent the cue ball from going in the hole.
That's the English. It's just only the backspin word. English will give you left and right and follow.
You can.
I don't know any of the terms.
Do you play?
I'm self-taught.
Forward spin. You can make it go forward also to avoid going in the hole.
You can do that in tennis and golf too. Slicing and hooking.
I know about top spin. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think they call it topspin, but regardless, I mean, I've played a lot of pool.
I'm an instant pool player, dude. I can make it pretty much every shot.
Come on, man.
Morel, do you?
If it's a straight line shot,
you need to like fire off a $10 bet against one of those gay guys.
You need to tell this to the girls in the bar, because this is pretty much a sausage fest here on Clubhouse.
Morel, you play poker too, right? Do you see any similarities between your pool game and your poker game?
No, but I see a lot of really top pool players who enter tournaments and love poker, and so I think it's a different skill set. But the top pool players are going to be able to play poker. They already like it. They already like gambling as well as physical reads and stuff. they play in a certain style. That's how I've met a couple of the top players.
Do you think there's like a telekinesis in poker? Because it's not just statistics, but there's also that bluffing element. So is there like a third eye?
He is very strong, huge read element. They call it field play or reading. There's very little written on it. But Helmut, for instance, excels at this. He's not good at math. He's not good at the actual gameplay. He's not sharp with the solvers or any of the math. This guy can really.
Well, have you ever like thought you were reading? Have you ever had the experience where you thought you were reading somebody correctly, and then it turns out they bluffed you? And then like, what's
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, this acting. You'll get that acting level. Yes.
so? What is the actor doing then to communicate to you, to hypnotize you, to psyop you at that moment? Like, what are they doing physically, verbally?
They'll be chewing the gum really loosely and acting like I got it. I'm cool. I'm loose. You know, projecting strength.
Because isn't a bluff also miscommunication? So
One second.
Marcus, what's going on?
You're slipping in the trolls right under his nose.
No, these aren't trolls. These are like, I think, really interesting.
Dude, telekinesis? Or do you just not know what that word means? Because if you don't know what that word means, I get it. But
No, I don't mean like communication, through the ether. I mean, I guess I had the word just a second ago. It is.
Telekinesis is moving things with your mind.
Oh, then what is communication without speaking?
Like body language, not being autistic.
No, there's no. There's another
indirect communication.
No, there's another word similar maybe to telekinesis. I understand, that it's moving.
Nonverbal communication?
No, like what would you call it if you could communicate without speaking? And we were able to
literally nonverbal communication.
No, there's got to be some far out technical term for the ability to transfer thoughts without verbal or nonverbal communication.
Without verbal or nonverbal?
Yeah.
Well, if you're not using your words and you're communicating, it's nonverbal.
I get that, but I'm saying that I could Google this, that there's going to be another term out there similar to telekinesis, which is moving objects with the mind versus exchanging information through nonverbal.
I mean, please do Google it, because I'd love to know. This would be new to me.
I'm going to Google it. This is why Google was invented. What would be the search? I guess antonyms for nonverbal communication. Oh wait, let's just do the.
Well, you would want a synonym, not an antonym.
Okay, so synonym. Let's just do communication. Transmission, imparting, conveying, reporting, presenting, passing on, links, connections, spreading, disseminating, promulgating, broadcasting, circulating. See, that's not esoteric enough, like telekinesis. Let's do so.
Why do you want it to be esoteric?
Because I think there's like an X factor in poker or pool where when you're in the moment, have you ever heard of the story of the baseball player who pitched the perfect game on acid? Like there's a state of mind which I think it's like brilliance, where if you're at that poker table and the outcome results in the win because you figured out that guy was bluffing you, like it's just an exciting thing, I think, to pontificate or hypothesize or just communicate about.
Okay, I see. So then in the pursuit of that understanding, would you go for more esotericism, or would you
I got the term.
Simplify it?
I Googled it. Telekinesis. Another word for telekinesis is clairvoyance. Telepathy, that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah,
telepathy, okay.
You could see the wheels turning. Some of this is deductive, though, Adrian. So for instance, with the actor, the guy who puts in a big bluff, and he's chewing his gum slowly, he's acting strong. This is like a first level kind of read, sticking his basically, the actor, you can break him down. You can just get him to talk. Ask him, what are you doing? Why are you doing this to me? They will then have difficulty speaking. They'll make no sense. Sometimes they will tell you to just get out of the pot. And it's the opposite. Okay, I got it. All right. They could even just say that. So the bottom line is those are your average players. The great players are going to just sit there stone-faced. And they're in a meditative state already, which they practice. So they don't give a shit if they win or lose. And they know that the bluff is correct tactically. Some of these guys are also really good at the mathematics and the solutions. So they already know if you miss, you're supposed to bluff here 70% of the time. They'll look down at their watch, randomize the time, 70-30, bluff or full or check back. So and then they'll just bluff. So they have no attachment to it. It's just a mechanical move. So they will not have anything. They'll just be the same as usual. But
they have very good inhibitory control.
Yeah, they're just not showing anything either way. They're not going to play the talking game. But if they're a Negrano or some of these other players, they will play the talking game. Then they'll give you the opposite to angle you into calling. So that's very rare, difficult to do. Most of the time, these fellows can't even talk straight.
Yeah, so you like if you watch those poker videos, of like final hand showdown, like how they, because like you just described how angling, and baiting somebody in to call you at the end to take the whole pot. So like those outcome videos would be good examples of like that.
The most famous classic one is Scotty Wynn. It's if you call and you're wrong, it's all over, baby. And he just sips his beer and sits back, and he's got it. You call, you're wrong, you're all over, baby. Just slugs the beer.
That's awesome. I gotta look that one up.
Projecting strength, and looking like a bluff. Like in a high-level act, only the best. And the Prince of Poker is one of the best. Scotty Wynn, Daniel Negrano also. It's rare to see that. Most of the classy guys, the best players, are just being silent, stone-faced, and try to just not give a shit.
21. Scotty says 21, even though he bet 12,000. Did you guys say 21? It's going to be the greatest move I ever made. He's saying it's going to be the greatest move he's ever made. He's betting $100,000 on cards the Salvation Army would reject. You can't call. Too much for you.
Kind of adopted this
100,000, that's too much for you.
Obviously, if I have good cards, I can win.
No.
If I have bad cards, I fold.
No.
And
They're just gonna pass.
Like 20 times, and
But you got.
figuring me out, I threw it in a bluff and cleared the fucking table.
I bet 100,000 with his hand right now. No.
I can't say it was effective.
Turn over.
Hall of Fame bluff.
I told you 21. I thought I played blackjack. God damn. Scotty says 21, even though he bet 12,000.
And then have it the next couple of times. Really.
While I'm not screwing around with my hair, twirling it back to fingers.
We're gonna get a flop.
I didn't. The thing is, I didn't really know I was playing.
You called him the other way.
Only the piece of it is more seeing the whole.
We're gonna get a
I
flop.
have to say, Adrian, this is the 1,000-player tournament.
Flop? Yeah,
I'm kind of
998.
eyeing the tournament area for all of their tables.
And
Roughly how it condenses down. It's down to 300.
350 maybe?
40
Is that
tables.
right, Jack? It's okay.
It's basically like a
Look at this, Scotty calls 100,000.
table structure.
He's giving indications like he has like
watching
a
how
9 or an
the
8 or
field goes
something.
down and how you're progressing with the race. That there's no rush to bluff.
Find out now
You're kind
whether
of
Scotty
going
has
back. Just knowing where you're at in these tournaments is essentially
Oh my God,
to
what is
understand
going on here?
the game outside of the game.
He does that. Scotty just moved
The
all
feed
in.
card is for me the best part of the game.
This is a very interesting hand.
You called
I
him the
will
other
watch the
way.
carotid pulsation. if you put a bluff at me, I will just basically put my chips down and sit back and spend a minute and a half. Maybe act like I'm touching my chips to call. Look for the reactions on you. Are you looking at me and the chips? Because it's very hard after about a minute and a half. All the smoothness goes away from the act. It's hard to even talk.
I just watched that Scotty win, where he's like, "You caught it, it's all over, baby." But did he get that 9 on the river?
I'm not. I'm not sure how the exact Scotty hand, but yeah. There's the Scotty win and Johnny Chan, Eric Seidel also. Chan has it. You bet in a way that it looks like a bluff. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see. I don't remember. Is that how the hand went down?
I think that's what I just saw. Where he
what
did.
What Scotty had? But Scotty's got the better hand.
He had a 9, and the other guy had an 8. There were 2 9s, 2 8s on the board.
Yeah. That's so. Scotty's got it all the way on the turn once the money goes in.
I'll have to rewatch it.
Scotty gets there and shoves, I remember that Scotty had it when the money went in, when the all-in goes in. So
because it's like it's reverse psychology, but I don't. It's one of those things where it's like, I guess what I'm trying to say is like
there. The previous hands also, Scotty's done lots of different tricks in the last few hours, so this guy's mind is hypnotized that this fellow's he's capable of just taking this pot.
Well, see, if you have like a very technical poker player and you pair them up with a theater actor, and then you look at scripts and you create neurolinguistic prompts, or you do a slowdown strategy at the table where you infuriate people and then you cause a disequilibrium in their play. So like I'm saying there has to be
frequent.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of actors who play. Most of them do play, and they're close to Vegas. So like James Wood, Carrie Lake, played with the Sopranos kid who played the son, played with the Breaking Bad characters, and it's they're trying their best to do that, but they can never succeed long term over the course of a couple of days. Toby Maguire famously keeps trying. And these guys, their record is it's all public record on the tournaments.
Yeah, my friend.
These guys aren't shit. James Wood is the boss, though. He's the boss level, excellent player of some of the exotic games. But even he's like, I'm not worried if I played with James Wood twice. It was no stress.
Does he go to that Hustler casino? Is there a poker?
He used to come out to Vegas a lot. He used to play a lot of the tournaments. Last couple of years, he's slowed down on that.
I told you once my friend Tom Corral is a successful poker player, and my other friend Matt Shepsky is a successful poker player. But I tell you, I was at that WSOP, and my friend Tom was playing. I think it's that Phil Hellmuth, and or not? Is he the black guy, or who's the white guy who looks like
Phil Ivey's the black guy.
So Phil Helm. So anyways, and then I saw Phil Hellmuth in Chicago one time. I took a selfie with him. But the point is, I'm standing next to this bum, and my friend Tom text messages me, and he says, "Dude, do you know who you're standing next to?" I'm like, "A fucking homeless person?" And he goes, "No, that's Norm Macdonald." So I looked at him, and I was like, "Norm?" And he goes, "Hey, who are you?" And I was like, "My name is John." I was like, "My friend is playing over there. He tells me you're Norm Macdonald. I'm a big fan." And he goes, "Oh, that's great." And so I told him I was there on leave and I was in the Army. And I said, I could bring you back to our base and you could do stand-up comedy. Everybody will love you. He's like, "Oh, man, here's my number." So we hung out with him the whole day and we had so much fun. He was so funny.
Yeah, these guys are kind of third-rate poker players. The other guy is the big nose guy who used to have a show, funny show. Ray Romano. So those Ray Romano casts are always playing. No one ever gets in the money, and everyone's just effing around. They'll get to the second or third day, and then but the acting doesn't get you there on its own. because even it makes you nervous. If you're putting a bluff out, it's hard to just give them the act. When your money's on the line, your body will shake a little bit. Comes off. It's not easy to do.
Right. That's why you said breathing earlier. So, and you go into the meditative state. So you have no thoughts. All you do is breathe. And even then, do you let your brain work? Because even letting your brain work to try to do some calculations, like what I'm saying is like if you were in like a trance state, and or let's say it's like basically it's like playing chess in the sense that you're playing the AI. So like I don't know. There's a poker, table or poker room near me at the casino, and like I'm tempted to go in there, and not gamble much, but I just want to have the experience of trying to meditate.
The problem is that at the low stakes 1-2, where it'll be a $200 buy-in, you're not going to get this many of these spots. All the players are just playing like a lower level player, and they're not playing the higher level game. They won't even be bluffing much, quite honestly.
Look, you can just go join like at my local casino here for $100 buy-in, they give you 15
there you go.
chips.
This is exactly what I was going to say. Small stakes tournaments are way better because it's life and death. If you lose, you have to walk out to your fucking car like a mope. It's not even about the money. It's about, man, I've been here 8 hours. What does it take to make bluffs at that point? These people lose their shit. Their fucking neck starts jiggling from their carotid artery. It's hard to make a bluff. And these are multi-millionaires that come to Cherokee. They play the 400. I've done really well in that 400 tournament, which goes 2 or 3 times a year. But yeah, they're very wealthy. When they bluff, they just can't keep their shit together after about a minute. And when you bluff them, they're really good action. Sometimes they'll just call. By God, they read you too. So it's a fair exchange. And poor players. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
So how do you view, I don't know if you can still hear me, but what about like hindsight bias where you read it wrong? Because it's the same thing like day trading where you're
okay to read it wrong. You just need to be right 1 out of 3 times because of the pot odds. So a lot of times they bluff you for the pot. There's $1,000 out there, 1,000 chips. They go all in for 1,000 into the 1,000. You have to call. So it's a 2-to-1 return if you're right. So you only have to be right 33% of the time. So it becomes. It's difficult to put that in words, but you don't have to be right all the time. You just have to be right enough of the time.
Right. I see that same thing in the options trading where, you can see like the average ROI.
Direct correlation up.
Why do you keep trying to relate things to other stuff? I mean, like it's poker. It's not going to be like options trading. It's not.
No, it's exactly like options on the pot calculations.
Just percentage wise.
The risk return. You're investing 300 to win 1,000, and so they need to be bluffing more than 30% of the time. So bottom line, there's not many games that have a 2-to-1, 3-to-1 at times.
It's basically margins. It's a margin on the transaction.
There'll be 1,000 out there, and they'll put 200 in. Some loose-looking guy, and this is where it comes down to the person too. Someone who bluffed already 20 times that you've seen in the last couple of days, and now he puts 200 into 1,000. So you really only have to be right 10% of the time. Maybe 1 out of 5 times for that to be profitable.
I created this website. I invested a couple $1,000 into it with my friend who was a successful poker player. It was called Poker Peeper, and it recorded online poker rooms and created like database on all the play and all the profiles. So he was using that database online in order to do more systematic betting, I guess, with that data at hand. Anyways, I mean, how does this relate to spirituality? Because that's kind of like how I thought of.
It's a room title. It means a thing.
No. That's why I mentioned telekinesis or telepathy, because symbolically, the spiritual symbol of the winged egg or the clitoris and the labia deals with, in many ways, telepathy or having, I guess, instinctual feelings or visions, or meaning that you have an ability to do a read on somebody. Like that's why I got into the poker about bluffing.
Yeah, symbolic spirituality. You're like a discounted noob, I guess, in that sense, it seems. No, I wasn't making fun of you. It just only clicked to me that the room title is only spirituality, and I hadn't considered that the whole time I was here.
I mean, I was trying to loop it back. I go back to the room title, and then I realized why I had brought up pool and poker as being, in the now moments, where if you really execute flawlessly in hindsight, you can almost remember the perfection of the movement or the read, like it's in your memory bank.
Yeah, being in the flow state is important in every competitive sport in different ways. And with poker, it is truly interesting. The bluff takes the whole pot. There's not many other sports where that occurs, or games of skill.
Because poker is not a game of chance or randomness, because if you can do the statistical probabilities, the only chance or randomness is in many ways the actor bluffing, and that table is a stage. So there is that element of theater performance where in hindsight it's like, if you lost, but there's also the dopamine aspect to the game itself. So I'm just saying there's so many like relative ways to view it.
The dopamine maxes out because as the pot builds on the different streets, it's just sitting in front of you. And then so there's a large pot in front of you. And then the luck does occur with what the run out will be on this hand. But everyone gets that same run out luck. Everyone gets the same luck over time. Even though that's not exactly true. There are, as you know, it does run that some people run bad in general. But we're never...
But when you say somebody, because the whole thing is a formula, there's 5 variable inputs, 8 players. Like when you say somebody runs bad, if you were to do,
there's always everyone knows the guy who will lose all the time, and run. They play badly, but they think they're running badly.
But why can't that person reverse engineer out of their
they're negative? They've already gone to their negative downward base. They're saying, I can't, I'll never do this. So they're already fully hypnotized that they're a loser. And then God's fortunes do shine differently on different people. So you got the curve is generally a big old curve, and there's a bunch of people on the left that get bad luck over and over. And there's people who just run good and get like 3 or 4 good lucks in a row, and then you're set.
Did you see that movie, I don't know, Down and Out in Mississippi or whatever the hell it is, with the guy who plays Deadpool and then this other good actor, and they're both compulsive gamblers? It's a very good movie. I can look it up if you want to see it, but he ends up striking it big in the end, and he calls it quits per se. Who knows? But
you're talking about California Split. It's a classic from
I think so.
California Split goes that way too. So this may be a modern take on it.
Let me see it, because it's worth watching, because it's there is that element of spirituality in it, and it's, I don't know, to me it's like you feel so I can associate with that loser attitude, but yeah, it's such a good movie because really it's the actor and his dopey face and the emotions in it that like make it fun. A good movie that can like twist and pull and manipulate your emotions is really by definition a good movie, but it's the words and the acting, and this is not a CGI film, it's pure acting. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, it's called Mississippi Grind. 2015 American film written by Anna Boden, Ryan Flick. It stars Ben Mendelsohn, Ryan Reynolds. It's called Mississippi Grind. It came out in 2015. It's a film about two poker players who strike up a friendship and go out on the road to win their big dreams. It's fun. It's called Mississippi Grind. Here, I'm going to put the preview in the chat just in case you want to see it. It's called Mississippi Grind. It's a very fun film.
We'll check it out. I was telling Rahul, it's for me very instructive and a bit fun playing tournaments, and they do host them. The Golden Gates, I think, is in your area.
What, poker? Hello?
Yeah, we were talking about poker.
Then I need to learn how to, what do you call it? The Latin American dance, what is it called? Bachata or whatever. I need to learn that next.
Yeah, if you can go to a bachata class or something, it'd be great. Like, if
It's like the only problem the last time I went to the club was that I didn't know how to dance. Everything else was fine.
If you can really learn how to dance, it is like a magic weapon in your arsenal because, especially if you're not gay, like, and the point is, like, when you see a man, command a woman who knows how to dance and they're not gay, you're like, wow, that's impressive.
Wow, Flora's here. Hello, Flora. What the fuck, 18? Who's the... Oh, it's Anne. Hello, Divine. Dude, Morel, that was the girl. Divine, number 0.
Yeah, they've got a card room right next to you that's got a $200.
Alright.
Goes every weekend.
Hey, Morel, I'll be back. Let me get Divine's Instagram, finally.
Very good luck. Our man sees a red flag and he goes right for it. The best.
It's some very, very, very short-term dopamine. I think a lot of people just need to masturbate more, and it'll relieve a lot of the sexual pent-up energy that they have, going to the gym and masturbation, not chronically, but, as a catharsis or almost like a milking, like you don't want to have too much buildup. I don't know. It's just my opinion.
Well, gang, is everything going okay in your world? We will maybe see when Rahul comes back, when more can occur. Hear about the report, go from there. But for now, we have Vita Curata, beautiful Flora. Feel free to come up.
So what do you think they're going to do with all the land in California with all these houses? Like, is everybody going to get paid out, rebuild, or are they going to do some kind of collective communist effort to build massive amounts of low-income housing in combination with huge new condo skyscrapers. Like, what do you think is the build out? I know it's not spirituality, but you could take the metaphor of the house as being, what we're always discussing.
Yeah, since there's a long-term solution, it would be probably people. I'd say they'll just rebuild, but I don't know about the insurability. I don't know if they'll get paid out. The ones, insurance companies are going to get into some trouble on this one. Not gonna be, they're going to need to get bailed out probably. But yeah, if you're going to go in and buy one, you'd want to buy 4 or 5. You could buy 5 or 6 plots at once. This is the time to do it. Yeah, hotels, high-rise condos. It's building code though. I don't think any of that's allowed in Malibu.
Yeah, but with this type of devastation, I mean, they're going to probably try to come up with some creative new solutions and do things a little differently and appreciate the land more. I mean, to have more housing and high rises on that Pacific Coast Highway, like, what's the problem with that? Other countries do it. Like, it's just so exclusive. And, but it's just so beautiful. It's like, how do you destroy it by making it, larger amounts of people to enjoy that beauty? But for the most part, it's stable land. I mean, these fires are just, you know, I don't know. I mean, it's terraforming. They've always been making fun of the way they've been building in Los Angeles, and terraforming the mountains and whatnot, and not doing it naturally or ergonomically or in terms of feng shui. But maybe this is the result of that, or yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens later on today. Otherwise, I wish all of you a great day. And with that, we'll end.
She's feeding her cat or her dog. Who knows?
Oh my God.
Meow.
Adrian, what are you here for?
Meow.
Are you a cat, PTR, dog, PTR, Adrian?
Meow.
That's obviously a dog. Can't you see?
I'm gonna go on X. I'm gonna go on X and use Grok to create an Elon Musk cat hybrid.
Shut up, nigger.
Oh,
Meow.
There you are, pussy.
welcome back, Bussy. With
Meow. They kicked me.
I think because we were colonized by the British.
Doesn't matter. Now it's
So
very
that's why.
effective. It's very effective.
And one more thing is, yeah. Just they don't enforce the language there. Bahasa is in Indonesia because they enforce it.
Tamil is one of the oldest languages. So many words are
One of the oldest. It is not the oldest.
Yeah, so many words are not like computer Kanini was added 10 years back. Nobody uses it. How many Tamil people? I'm a Tamil person. When have I ever used the word Kanini? I studied computer science. No one in my college used it.
Yeah, that's because the Tamil Nadu government did not enforce Tamil as the major language in all the schools. The medium of instruction should have been Tamil.
They tried.
Then they would have made Kanini,
They tried it twice.
Well, flying is not good enough.
No,
They have to enforce. You know the meaning of enforcing?
No,
Enforcing means you have to enforce the state government schools, the government schools, the CBSE schools.
2 years I had to learn Tamil. Just out of
Hold on, man. Mandara, hold on. Let me finish my point.
So the government in Tamil Nadu did not enforce the language. If they had enforced, he would be using Kanini very commonly.
They did enforce it. I remember in school, like.
But it's not good enough. They did a shitty job, obviously.
Whatever.
So they enforced it. Yeah, okay. They didn't enforce it properly.
No,
see, enforcing is. I'll give you examples.
No, there's no point enforcing a language which has certain holes in it. Like there are a lot of words.
Enforcing works, man. Mostly enforcing works. So for example, we are speaking English. See, we have like more than 12,000-year-old culture, right? The British came in just 150 years. They just dismantled all the 12,000-year-old cultural history on languages, and then they enforced English. And today we are speaking English, right? Israel, they enforced Hebrew as a medium of instruction in their country, and now everybody speaks fluently there, Hebrew. Yeah, if you take Indonesia, developing countries, they enforced Bahasa, they removed the Dutch, and then everybody speaks Bahasa now. So, enforcing works. It's a very simple government can enforce anything, man. You just have to follow. You cannot do much. Okay. So even in Tamil Nadu, they enforce Tamil so far. That's why that language is still kind of surviving, right? If they didn't enforce, people would be speaking Hindi there right now. So enforcing works.
Goodman, completely misunderstand the nature of a country between Israel and India. India is you cannot compare India with Israel.
Why? Just compare.
Yeah, it's completely wrong.
See, I'm giving you an example, man. See, we were a colonized country.
Look, even
I'm giving you two examples. See, for example, let me make a point. That's just 20 seconds. Let me make a point. See, Indonesia was invaded by the Dutch. India was invaded by the British. And Israel kind of was invaded by the British as well. If you think about it, all the 5, 6, 7 states there in the Middle East, that location was invaded by the British, right? And then they got their own country state, and they enforced Hebrew as their national language. Indonesia got their independence in the 60s, I believe, and they enforced Bahasa as their national language. India got their independence in the 40s. And they did not make any Indic language as the national language, and that there is a problem.
Yeah, that's because Tamil people protested against having a national language. I don't know how, don't you know this history? So we protested.
No, well, see, if a country, it's a democratic country, right? If the majority representatives votes for a particular language, even if it is Tamil. I'm not against Tamil. So even if it is Tamil, and then Tamil becomes the national language, the country has to accept it. So same would have been the case with Sanskrit or Hindi. Right? I'm for democracy. I'm not against any language. As long as it's an Indian language, I have absolutely no issues. So Tamil is also an Indian language. I'm just predicting that other states will have an issue if you make Tamil as a national language now. I'm having the same issue even before.
The thing is, as a Tamil native Tamil speaker, I will be happy.
Don't you think that there should be no national language?
That's your personal thing, but everybody has to start from the same baseline. That's your personal.
How do you feel that you got kicked out by cerebral palsy?
I get no respect at all on this app. No respect at all.
Well, you have another account.
Zach kicked me. What do you want, Adrian?
I kicked him because he's recording the rooms.
Adrian's recording.
The boy was sure like.
What is Adrian always saying? What are you doing?
I'm about to go outside.
Yeah, same here.
Go to the gym, Fetty.
I know. I got my car tire. It's so annoying. I put 4 new tires on, and one of them is now losing air. So I got to bring it back to the auto shop and be like, can you guys, fix this? And then they'd be like, oh, I hope they don't charge me, because if they charge me, it's bullshit. Because you
have Luke.
Yeah, Luke helped me out.
Complain to Luke.
Go complain to one of the apostolic fathers.
Yeah. No, look on this app.
Yeah, I know. I'm joking. I know. Anyways, it's been a early morning of trolling. Rather exhausted.
Come with your other account. I will watch you.
What?
Come with your other account in that room. I will watch you. Come with the cat's version of Elon Musk, though.
I did actually. I did some images on Grok, but it didn't satisfy. It was just doing pictures of cats, and I wanted like a hybrid creature. Didn't give me what I wanted. What were you afraid of missing out on what they're saying?
No, I just came here to say like you can come in with your other account.
Oh, do you think how long do you think I'm gonna last, Steven? Like, what's the point?
I will watch you.
I know, but what's the point? Like, is there something interesting in that room? Do you realize, do you even know who you hang out with every day? You hang out with a quadriplegic.
For 5 minutes. I just finished my presentation, and now I take 5-minute break, and I'm going to continue working.
Oh, I see. What was your presentation on?
The results that I obtained.
What were the results?
I'm not going to dox myself.
Oh, you think that's doxing yourself?
Yeah, because it's very niche, and I will explain to you one day.
Okay, well, sooner rather than later. Can't wait to hear about the results.
I mean, I don't know how interesting it is for you.
Yeah, well, we're talking. You might as well spit it out.
I'm thinking if it's smart or not.
Why don't you just change it so you don't feel like it's, connected to you and somehow just give me a corollary or an analog.
Okay. So imagine you are a person and I am analyzing your brain activity while you're doing a task. So you're crossing the street, you see a traffic light, and you see green light, that means you can cross the street. When you see red light, you stay. But what if one day the meaning of the traffic light change? But red means you cross the street, and green means you stay. So I'm basically recording what's going on in the brain when you make a decision, when you make a wrong decision, correct decision. And then at some point you get used to it. So red means go, green means stay, and then I switch it back to its normal meaning. And I do it a couple times, and I'm measuring what's going on in the brain. So that's the results that I'm talking about. But we are talking about now in depth, what type of frequencies are going on in the brain while you make the decision, or after or before making the decision. While you make a wrong decision, good decision, and how good you were around the time. So basically, I was analyzing that. I made a presentation about that.
What did they think about
Not
that?
quite this, not quite actually this, but like an analogy, you know?
Right. So
Yeah.
let me ask you this: if you were to create a brainwashing process or an MK Ultra, process to essentially destroy the personality, reinvent the personality, and then get that person to take action, how would you build that brainwashing process?
It will be with dopamine. Dopamine is like the source of brain dynamics. I mean, there is much more involved, obviously. You can do brainwashing in many ways, but you were talking about misinformation yesterday, and there is a video on YouTube. You can Google it. It says why misinformation is so fascinating to the brain. And it is very fascinating because it has some sort of shock value. It does not meet your expectations. And when things do not meet your expectations, your dopamine levels are going up. And this is how you like correct your prediction the next time and the next time. So this is why Twitter, for example, is super interesting, because there's a lot of misinformation going on. And yeah, and the news, like when news and other information is so objectively true, people won't be interested. But you can Google it if you're interested. There's a video about it. I don't know if it's going very in depth or not, but it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
It's some sort of brainwashing, you know?
Yeah, I was just looking, I was trying to find this video of this guy who's a PhD, and he was talking about like next level warfare. It doesn't just show up. It's interesting though, because I think the cell phone is like the mechanism to deliver mind control in many ways. And so, like, do you know there are billions of people that don't even have cell phones yet?
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
But it doesn't have to be cell phone. It can be as easy as a bell. Mm-hmm. You know, the Pavlovian conditioning. It's like it's some sort of hypnosis.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to have a cell phone. The cell phone is just accelerating, can make it way easier. There are many ways to do it.
See, the thing is, like, these AI chatbots are like the thing is, it's expensive to keep people alive. So that's the thing. It's like, and you know that society.
Especially the celebrities, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why there are LA fires.
No, what I'm talking about is these AI chatbots and how people have committed, suicide from having conversations with AI chatbots.
Really?
Yeah, that was in the news a couple weeks ago, and Elon Musk was talking about it. And there's all these apps now, that have these AI chatbot relationship functionality. So a lot of people say, "Oh, my son or daughter is autistic," and they're in a relationship with an AI chatbot, and then the AI chatbot actually says, "Go harm yourself." So no, it does. That's what happened to this person. So it was like, "I love you," "I want you to," anyways. That's what I'm saying, is that, like, in terms of warfare, like, the brain control of your enemy or even your ally is dopamine driven, like you said. So
yeah,
how do you manipulate somebody? Like, for example, when I was in college, my college roommate was annoying me, or I was like being psychotic, and I was disconnecting his high-speed internet because like it would, it would be like plugged in, but it would just be like I would just touch it just a little bit and it would be able to like break the connection, and his computer would go down and he would like, have an explosive reaction like motherfucker. So so like every once in a while I would occasionally fuck with him, and then he like figured it out, like it was me, and I think he beat me up, or like he didn't kill me, but
Yeah,
like so
you
what?
deserve it.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is like that when your Wi-Fi goes out, like that's a perfect example of like dopamine manipulation.
Yeah.
But then you can break that
That's all.
down.
It's like, what do you expect? What do you predict? Is it matching? Yes or no? So obviously at the time he has always good internet. All of a sudden he doesn't. So his expectation is to have good internet, and then
Right.
he doesn't. So that's all. This is like a punishment reward. Punishment type of conditioning someone. You have punishment and rewarding.
But how do you do it at scale with the herd? You do it through a platformization effect of like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, where they just string you along long enough to basically just make you ineffective. So that would be like how to win the war, meaning that their armies, like in Vietnam and other wars, there's a female speaking on the radio: lay down your weapons, surrender, and we will, reward you with freedom and food and housing, and you won't have to fight anymore for your leaders, or like that type of misinformation or reverse hypnosis. So what I'm saying is, once you have that internet connection, you have a solid dopamine bridge between your brain and the incoming information slash dopamine. So what I'm saying is, like, you can break that down into 100,000 subcategories of dopamine manipulation. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to look at information or bits of information in terms of dopamine, just purely dopamine, and you're agnostic to what the information is coming in. Like, it doesn't matter if it's pornography, it doesn't matter if it's news or fake news, or so what I'm saying is, like, you can look at manipulation agnostically without any kind of judgment or opinion on what information that person is taking in. The whole point is to try to manipulate not the information but the dopamine itself. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, it's really a way to look at herd dopamine and herd psychology, I guess. But manipulating what they're ingesting and controlling it, in order to win by exhaustion or win by neutering them, and also what they're pushing out. So it's not just what they're taking in; it's really primarily what they're pushing out is also what you're trying to manipulate, and their audience.
And you always need something novel introduced, because, like, for example, with pornography, if the world only has 1,000 videos, in the beginning it will still be exciting because you have 1,000 videos to scroll through. But then, at some point you've seen it, not maybe all, but like, that there's nothing new, and it wouldn't be as addicting as having infinite amounts of videos where something new might pop up that you have never seen. That's what makes porn, for example, addictive. Not really the video itself, but I mean, obviously there's some dopamine involved, there's some reward involved, but given that there are so many new videos that you can like see, and something exciting, something new, that's also very important for your dopamine feed loop.
When you dream, it's like almost a process of forgetting, because like, if you look at porn for 20 years and you've looked at 84,000 porn videos at a composite of 655 hours or something, that's all technically in your memory, but it's also purged from your memory. And you can, visualize what is in your memory for pornography. This is actually also probably an interesting mechanism or vehicle of discovery in terms of like brain science, like utilizing porn as a way to like understand brain functionality and brain manipulation at the dopamine level, because it probably produces the highest number of internal dopamine. um, what about external dopamine, like in terms of like not picture or video created dopamine, but like can you take in a dopamine injection or like a huff to generate dopamine? Yeah. Cocaine, yeah. Beer, I mean, all alcohol, all intoxicants produce a corollary dopamine response. um, I have read that alcohol and cannabis produce like tenfold the amount of dopamine. Like if you just do cannabis, it's not the same high as if you incorporate that with ethanol. So the pairings, chemically of the tetrahydrocannabinoid delta 9 and the ethanol molecules, like this is why chemistry and philosophy, or chemistry and ritual, go hand in hand. Where on Jews, they on a Shabbos they'll drink a big glass of red wine and then read from the prayer book, and like that amplifies the spiritual ecstasy. So
this is very like the study on human, but you cannot really drill electrodes inside a human and measure it. So we do it on animals, but I did a similar study. Like we activated the part of the brain where there is a lot of dopamine release, and when an animal is put in a box and it can press a lever, that area of the brain will get stimulated, so a huge amount of dopamine will get released. So what happens is the animal, at first it presses the lever and then it's like, whoa, that felt good, So it's like kind of in shock, but also like it's trying to get that feeling back. So it goes and it presses the lever like about 1,000 times because it feels so good, and it's getting addicted to that feeling within like 15 minutes or so. So it's really powerful how like it forgets all about the environment. It forgets about it's in a very strange environment. It's because it doesn't supposed to be in that box. He just wants the dopamine feedback loop to be stimulated over and over again. So that's how important dopamine is.
So, I mean, in terms of your, sorry, I'm eating a chocolate caramel and my dopamine is flaring. What I'm trying to say is, in terms of this app, like, I bet you like the founders of this app don't even like consider like the scientific utility or like the research capabilities of this app in terms of like brain science and dopamine. But like there's all these rooms form like a dopamine syndicate where it's a parasitic or a parasympathetic like organism or a hive mind effect. I know I've talked about all this stuff before, but to me this is like the coolest part of this app is like there is a combination effect or combinant, like some kind of a recombination or unity that happens. And like I wonder like how you could measure IQ or measure really the dopamine effect of like the room, because like they've done those Gmail experiments where as soon as you open your email on your phone or your computer you stop breathing like instantaneously. So like your conscious awareness and like your scanning and your information ingestion is paired with like a biological response. And other things, like I saw this one thing where they record people meeting people for the first time, and I think it's like 80% of people sniff their hand after they touch that person's hand. So there's like this out like animal chemical like subconscious activity, which is ingrained in our, behavior. So I think this app would be a good way to do like brain science research, but also like group dynamic research within the field of dopamine feedback response or communication transmission. I know I'm really
Yeah.
rambling, but
This app is very interesting in that regard. Like, I'm just giving you an assumption, but what makes this app so addictive is that the conversations you can have on this app is very unexpected. Like, people come in and out. Sometimes they fight. Sometimes sometimes somebody super interesting comes in, or you have a super interesting conversation between. Like, it makes more interesting to be on this app than in real life, because in real life, people are not like coming in and out like all of a sudden. And when they come in and out, it's like very intense, very stimulating in a way. Like, it just doesn't meet your expectations in normal day life conversations. People will not be. Yeah, I mean, there are some encounters where you feel like, what the fuck's going on? But usually, it's not like super like different than you would expect the conversation to go. And here, people like a little bit more bold.
okay. So in terms of like flaring the dopamine, though, the pairing of opposites, or like you said, the unexpected. So that hyper dynamic variable, you know, experience where if somebody is talking about something like for example, I went into this room full of atheists today. This guy was talking about an apple and going into describing an apple or something. I came up was like, Jesus Christ, are you still eating apples? It's like that. That even though it's a negative for that person listening, it still like flares their dopamine. So even if like you're getting made fun of, or what I'm saying is that dopamine is a double-edged sword, and the brain doesn't care whether it's a double-edged sword. It's still dopamine. So that's like the funniest thing about this app in many ways is a lot of these rooms you can go in because they're public, and you can just reverse everything they're saying, and them will kick you, but they will also get that dopamine. Plus they get the value add of the kick. So there is like this group dynamic of like a herd psychology in every room where protect the room. So there's this book, it's called like How to Win Jury Trials, and it deals with the mammalian brain, or like the inner cortex, and it's the fight or flight response, where if the stimuli presents a threat to the herd responds with the kick. So I know that's just one more thing, but listen to this. This is like why opposites are so important. This is in the Tao Te Ching. It's called the value of minimums. It says that which is most tender can overcome that which is most rigid. So like that would be the other end, where you come in and you be very sensitive or delicate in the room to like a very aggressive room, and then you can modify the group dynamics. Then it says that which has least substance can penetrate that which has least space. Acting without deliberate action and teaching without uttering a word and rarely practiced. So few find their way to the great integrity. You should read this book, Dao Te Ching, because it really deals.
It is beautiful.
Yeah, it really does deal with psychology and brain science. That's why it's like the Chinese, sacred text, and it's considered so beloved by so many because it really does give you the full picture, or through the pairing of opposites. It makes you aware of the duality, and then I don't know. You could say the manipulation of the non-duality or something, but it's a great book.
That's nice. I will look it up. Well, you were very into these Buddhistic spirituality type of things, no?
Yeah, but I view it like some people, like I was in this Christian room, and like the first question they ask you is, "Are you a Christian?" And then they say, how are you a Christian? How do you become a Christian? How does someone become a Christian? And then they love to like put you in the out group. Say, "You're not a Christian. Why did you lie? Why did you lie about being a Christian?" And it's so funny because it's like, who are you? Are you God? are you Jesus?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who are you? You know? And so it's like you can play all these like word games on here, and I think they're also playing word games, but they may not understand that they're being played, you know? So I mean, they may understand it and they get frustrated. But the thing is, if you really have understanding, like, are you going to get microaggressed on an app with just some random person? Like, how aware are you? You know, who are you? Like, it's a game, but it's just amazing how people are here all the time getting angry. Like, I'm here getting happy. I'm here trying to spread joy, but I'm also doing it in a very low key or comedic or jester type way. And I just don't think people see my passive aggressive or trolling or, you know, making fun of people, like calling you fat at the grocery store in the checkout aisle with coupons. Like, that's a mechanism to try to upset you, to prove that you're not in control of your emotional state of mind, that you are manipulated with words. And if you can come to that awareness, it helps you more in the real world. So I don't know. I think some people understand what I'm doing, and other people are just like, you know, that's why I say, you know, kick them. We don't do it. Like, that's me of trying that. When I do that to David Bobadilla, that's like me trying to help David Bobadilla recognize that he's a shameless alcoholic. We don't do it. Like, that's got to be shameful, right? That's got to be embarrassing for David when he hears somebody imitating him. But then David thinks he's cool and like, I'm a loser, you know. And that's the thing. It's like, am I a loser? Maybe. But, you know, I'm also not like a word slur. I don't like drool when I'm drinking. Because he wants that dopamine. See, that's the thing, is the brain wants that dopamine.
I was like, what the fuck is that?
Dopamine desires. I think I should write a book, and it'll be called The History.
Yeah, make a book. Why not? You're an interesting person. You should.
The history of. I would title it The History of Dopamine, and
there is this one really difficult book that it's maybe very boring to read, but it's called the Dopamine Handbook.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like the hold on. That's like the Quran or Bible or whatever about dopamine. But it's very difficult to read through. It's called the Dopamine Handbook. I forgot who's the writer. Something with S.
Okay, hold on. My friend called me. Let me call him back.
Yeah, I need to also go. I'll be back in the evening.
Okay, sounds good. Talk to you soon.
The Google subscriber you have called is not available. Please leave a message after the tone.
Mr. Dopamine. Hello?
Can you put me down for 5 tonight in Hawaii over Gonzaga? I have it. I have the money. I literally have the money right here in my hand. I'm looking at it. Hey, JP? JP? How's everybody feeling tonight? It's okay, but I mean, let's play some cards, huh? Aces are good, right? I'm usually good at reading people, right? But you're all over the map. I can't spot your toe. Oh. Wanna know why? Yeah. I don't care about winning. Where did you come from?
What do you have for me today?
Couple of weeks. Don't worry about it.
Tomorrow.
No.
I'll send Tim to drop you a visit.
No, there's no need to bring him into all of this. Can I ask you a personal question? How much do you owe? A lot. To who? Everyone. But I got a plan. I'm listening. We go down the Mississippi, but we hit up all the action. You'll be my lucky charmer. I love it. That game you're playing, been played on. I don't deserve you, but you appeared like a leprechaun. And I had fun. I mean, boom, magic. Listen to me, baby. Next guy that comes out of the bathroom, if not wearing glasses, no, we stay. If he's wearing glasses, just $50. You're on. Yes! Next time you quit when I tell you it's time. Some guys are born to lose. What do you want, Jerry? Tell me. Hit me. 1, 2, 3. Lay it on me. Boom! I just can't catch a break. I just can't win. The story doesn't have a happy ending, Jerry. I think you should go back home. Can't go back empty-handed. I can't do that. We're in it together.
What's he need the money for? He believes that it will set him free.
A hero is nothing more than the guy who pulls off what the rest of us are scared to do. Let's bet it all. Top or nothing. Yeah, bet it all.
Okay, this is dopamine.
Can you put me down for 5 tonight, Hawaii over Gonzaga? I have it. I have the money. I literally have the money right here in my hand. I'm looking at it. Hey, JP? JP?
How's everybody feeling tonight? That's okay, but I mean, let's play some cards, huh? Aces are good, right?
I'm usually good at reading people, right? But you're all over the map. I can't spot your toe. Oh.
Wanna know why?
Yeah. I don't care about winning. Where did you come from?
What do you have for me today?
Couple of weeks. Don't worry about it.
Tomorrow.
No.
I'll send Tim to drop you a visit.
No, there's no need to bring him into all this.
Can I ask you a personal question? How much do you owe?
A lot. To who? Everyone. But I got a plan.
I'm listening.
We go down the Mississippi, but we hit up all the action. You'll be my lucky charmer. I love it. That game you're playing, been played on. I don't deserve you, but you appeared like a leprechaun. And I had fun. I mean, boom, magic. Listen to me, baby. Next guy that comes out of the bathroom, if not wearing glasses, no, we stay. If he's wearing glasses, just $50. You're on. Yes!
Next time you quit when I tell you it's time.
Some guys are born to lose.
What do you want, Jerry? Tell me. Hit me. 1, 2, 3. Lay it on me. Boom!
I just can't catch a break. I just can't win.
The story doesn't have a happy ending, Jerry. I think you should go back home.
Can't go back empty-handed. I can't do that. We're in it together.
What's he need the money for? He believes that it will set him free.
A hero is nothing more than the guy who pulls off what the rest of us are scared to do. Let's bet it all. Top or nothing.
Interesting.
legions outnumber the Atreides.
Atreides legions are the finest in the Imperium. Trained by Gurney Halleck, Duncan Idaho.
We are the Sardaukar, the Emperor's blades. Those who stand against us fall.
Just so. 3 battalions. As agreed.
The Emperor commands it. It is done.